I'm attracted to my boyfriend's dad. I'm 27, my boyfriend Nick is 30, and we've been together for a little over 2 years. Things between us have always been good, solid, even. He's sweet, dependable, funny in a goofy kind of way. The kind of guy you bring home to your parents and know they'll approve of. But I didn't expect his dad to be the one who would make me question everything. The first time I met his father, it was at a family dinner for his mom's birthday. His parents have been divorced for over a decade, but they still do these big family events together. When Nick introduced me to his dad, I felt something shift immediately. His name is Mark, and he's 53, tall, salt and pepper hair, incredibly fit, dressed in a way that said he didn't try too hard, but somehow always looked perfect. He shook my hand and held my gaze for just a second longer than felt polite. I thought I imagined it. Over the next few months, I saw Mark a handful of times, birthdays, holidays, once at a barbecue he hosted at his house. He was always polite, always composed, but there was this energy between us, an awareness. It wasn't overtly flirty, but there were moments. Eye contact that lingered, little comments that felt like double meanings, and once he brushed against my lower back when squeezing past me, and it sent a chill down my spine. I hated that I noticed. It got worse when Nick had to go on a 2-week work trip out of the country. During that time, Mark texted me, just casually at first. "Hey, hope you're doing okay with Nick gone. Let me know if you need anything." I replied politely, but he kept the conversation going. Not every day, but just enough to keep me thinking about him. At first, I convinced myself he was just being friendly. One night during that trip, I went to dinner with a couple of friends in the city, and I ran into Mark completely by chance. He was dressed sharp, clearly coming from or going to something fancy. He offered to buy me a drink while I waited for my friends to arrive. I said yes. We ended up sitting together for 45 minutes, talking about everything. His career, my writing, books we liked, the way relationships evolve. At one point, I said something about how different generations view love, and he leaned in a little and said, "You seem like someone who understands people deeply. I bet you read between the lines." I didn't know how to respond, but I felt it again, the electricity. Nick came back from his trip and things went back to normal, but I didn't. I started noticing how often I was comparing them. Nick is great, but he still feels like a boy in some ways. Mark is undeniably a man, confident, composed, worldly. One night, a few weeks later, we were all invited to a family friend's anniversary party. Nick had a migraine and told me to go without him. I hesitated, but ended up going. Mark was there and we spent a good chunk of the night talking again, this time a little more openly. He told me he found me incredibly interesting and that he admired the way I held myself. I didn't say anything inappropriate, but I didn't walk away either. When the party ended, he walked me to my car. It was late. The parking lot was nearly empty. And just before I opened the door, he said, "You know this isn't nothing. Whatever this is, you feel it too, don't you?" I froze. I didn't deny it. I couldn't. He didn't kiss me. He didn't even touch me. He just said, "You'll have to figure out what you really want," and walked away. Now I'm here, writing this, completely aware of how messed up it sounds. I love Nick, or at least I thought I did. But there's something about Mark that makes me feel seen in a way I didn't know I wanted to be seen. I haven't told anyone, not even my closest friends. I haven't crossed any lines. Not physically, but emotionally? That line's already blurry. I see him in my dreams. I check my phone half hoping he's messaged me. And the worst part? I don't feel guilty. Not yet. Since that night in the parking lot, I haven't been the same. Mark hasn't texted me again, but it hasn't mattered. His silence speaks louder than any message could. And in my head, I replay that moment as if I'm stuck in a loop. You feel it too, don't you? Yes, I felt it, I feel it, and I can't stop feeling it. A week later, Nick asked me to join him for dinner at his dad's house. It was a casual thing, just the 3 of us, something we had done before. I said yes, with the firmest voice I could muster, while my stomach churned. When we arrived, Mark greeted us with a calm smile, as if nothing had happened. He was just as impeccable, just as composed, like he knew exactly how to unravel me without even touching me. Throughout the dinner, he was polite, funny, normal, but I couldn't stop noticing every little gesture, every pause, every look that lasted just a second longer than it should have. Nick drank more wine than usual, and by 11, he was passed out on the couch in the living room. That's when I got up to help with the dishes. I couldn't sit there beside him, feeling like a traitor. Mark joined me in the kitchen. He didn't say anything at first, just stood next to me and began drying the dishes I was washing. We were so close that I could feel the warmth of his arm against mine. My breath became heavier, my hands trembling slightly. "We shouldn't do this," I said, not looking at him. "We haven't done anything," he replied quietly. "Not yet," I murmured, and then I stopped pretending. I let the plate I was holding fall into the sink and turned to face him. I looked at him, waiting for him to pull away, for him to say something to end this. But he didn't. His gaze was intense, restrained, as if he were fighting himself. I didn't say anything more. I just moved closer, felt his breath brush against mine. He closed his eyes for a moment and then gave in. He kissed me. It wasn't soft. It was slow, deep, loaded with everything we had been holding back for weeks. My hands found their way to his neck, his hands on my waist. He lifted me as if I weighed nothing and set me down on the kitchen counter, not breaking the kiss. I felt his body pressed between my legs, his breath on my neck. Every inch of my body was on fire. It was as if I had wanted this so badly that I couldn't stop anymore. We didn't go any further that night. We heard Nick stir on the couch, and we separated instantly, like teenagers caught in the act. I went to the bathroom to compose myself, and when I came back, Mark was sitting across the room, reading a book. Nick, half asleep, smiled at me and asked me to take him home. In the car, Nick took my hand. He told me how happy he was that I was so close with his family, that he was excited for us to take the next step soon. I laughed. I squeezed his hand, and I didn't say a word. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, wondering when I stopped being just his girlfriend, to become the woman who can't stop thinking about his dad. And the worst part? I don't think this is over. I feel like it's just beginning.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, leave a like, subscribe, and let us know what you think in the comments. More confessions coming soon.